What if I told you that there are natural, safer alternatives to alcohol substances that could help you relax, socialize, and even improve your well-being, yet you've probably never heard of them? That's not a coincidence. Behind the scenes, billion-dollar alcohol companies are quietly working to keep it that way. From lobbying lawmakers to burying promising research, the battle to suppress these alternatives isn't about public health, it's about protecting profits. In this video, we're diving deep into the shadowy world of big alcohol and their silent war against nature's better options. Lobbying and influence in legislation. When it comes to protecting their market share, big alcohol companies don't play fair, they play powerful. Over the years, major alcohol brands have spent millions lobbying lawmakers to shape legislation that keeps their products on top while sidelining potential competitors. But these competitors aren't other alcohol brands. They're natural alternatives that could replace alcohol altogether. Take Kava, for example, a traditional South Pacific root drink known for its calming effects without impairing judgment or damaging the liver. In some regions, Kava was gaining popularity as a healthier alternative to booze. But suddenly, it was slapped with strict import bans and health warnings, despite having a safety profile arguably better than alcohol. Coincidence? Not quite. In many of these cases, alcohol lobbyists were simultaneously funding campaigns to tighten regulations on non-alcoholic intoxicants, while pushing policies that made alcohol more accessible. The goal isn't just to maintain dominance, it's to eliminate the threat before it even gets a chance to grow. These companies have access to lawmakers, public health boards, and regulatory agencies, and they know exactly how to use them. Bills that could fund research into or legalize substances like kanna, Kratom, or even functional mushrooms often get stalled, watered down, or mysteriously vanish after closed-door meetings. It's a quiet war, but one with loud consequences, a world where alcohol remains king, and nature's safer alternatives are locked out, not because they're dangerous, but because they're disruptive. Misinformation and media suppression. If you've ever heard that natural alcohol alternatives are dangerous, unregulated, or not scientifically supported, you're not alone, and you've probably been fed exactly what the alcohol industry wants you to believe. Big alcohol doesn't just operate in the shadows of legislation, it also quietly controls narratives in the media. Major alcohol brands sponsor events, run massive ad campaigns, and fund health organizations that, ironically, speak very little about the dangers of alcohol while amplifying fear about lesser-known, natural substances. Kava. Liver damage. Kratom. Addictive. Functional mushrooms. Unreliable and experimental. Meanwhile, alcohol, an addictive, carcinogenic, and socially destructive substance, is normalized, even glamorized. This isn't by chance. These industries understand that perception is power. By creating and reinforcing negative press around natural alternatives, they dissuade the public from even exploring them. Studies that show promise are often underreported, while any negative findings, no matter how isolated or poorly conducted, are blasted across headlines to stir panic. And here's the kicker: a lot of the sources behind these warnings are tied to alcohol-funded organizations. Think tanks, public health groups, or drug awareness campaigns that present themselves as neutral often have deep financial ties to the very companies they should be challenging. So while a young adult sipping on a kombucha spiked with kanna or lion's mane could be making a safer choice, they'll likely face stigma, suspicion, and legal gray areas, all because the alcohol industry has invested not just in lobbying, but in controlling the story. Research roadblocks and underfunding. In science, funding is power. And in the case of natural alcohol alternatives, that power is being deliberately withheld. Despite growing anecdotal and cultural evidence of safer plant-based substances that promote relaxation or euphoria without the physical damage of alcohol, research into these alternatives remains scarce, fragmented, and often underfunded. Why? Because studying something that could replace alcohol means threatening a multi-billion-dollar industry. Think about it: if kanna, kava, or adaptogenic mushroom blends were proven to be safer, non-addictive, and beneficial for mood and social bonding, it could reshape how we unwind, party, and even treat anxiety. That's a direct threat to big alcohol, and they know it. So rather than allow these studies to flourish, funding mysteriously dries up, research institutions face pressure, or the studies are simply buried under mountains of red tape. Even when research is conducted, it often faces another obstacle: academic gatekeeping. Journals and institutions that receive donations or sponsorships from alcohol giants may be less inclined to publish or promote findings that challenge the industry's dominance. Promising early trials showing the safety and social utility of natural alternatives are ignored, while studies highlighting the dangers of alcohol continue to receive attention, ironically reinforcing alcohol's status as the regulated, acceptable choice. It's not that the science isn't out there, it's that it's being suffocated before it can see daylight. In this system, it's not just about proving something works. It's about whether that proof is profitable. And right now, for big alcohol, the truth isn't just inconvenient, it's dangerous. Conclusion: the real intoxication is control. While most of us think of alcohol as a personal choice, a drink to celebrate, relax, or socialize, we rarely stop to ask why it's the default. Behind the scenes, powerful alcohol companies have built a system that not only promotes their product but actively suppresses anything that could challenge it. From lobbying lawmakers, to shaping public perception through fear and misinformation, to choking off research funding for safer, natural alternatives, the goal isn't public safety. It's monopoly. The real danger isn't in the roots, herbs, or mushrooms that nature provides, it's in a system that fears them. Because if people had access to non-addictive, non-lethal alternatives that offered the same social and psychological benefits without the damage, alcohol wouldn't just have competition. It might become obsolete. So the next time you reach for a drink, remember, you're not just choosing alcohol, you're choosing the only option that's been allowed to thrive. And maybe it's time to start asking why that is.